Okay, for my next advanced tutorial on Empressr, I'm going to show you how you could snazz up your presentation and make a nice flowing movie with your narrations. I've already looked into my library right here, and I have already kind of edited a couple of my audio files. If you don't know what an audio file is or which one it's going to say, double click on one of them and it's going to open up your screen. All you got to do is press play right there. With Empressr, and it'll tell you what it is. Make sure you give it a title so you can find it easier later, and then hit update. The next thing I want to do is I want to make sure that the narrations go with the appropriate slide. So my first narration is going to go to my first slide. I let go. I click on my next picture. I go to my second narration. I drag that over just like I did before, and so on. Now I want to make sure that my slideshow is automatically going to play with the narrations going into it, so I'm going to highlight it so I have the blue dots, and I'm going to come over to the side and make sure it says apply right underneath autoplay, and then I'm going to go to the gear off to the left, and it goes all the way down to the bottom, and that way you make sure that this is checked off for autoplay and auto advance. This way, when you get done with the narration, it will automatically go into the next slide. Once you've made sure that the narration is going to automatically transition over to the next slide, you can start to play with the gears underneath each one of these slides for the other options. You can give it a title. What do you want your transition type to be? You can keep them all the same or mix them up. It's up to you. I wouldn't worry about the transitions or the directions. Try not to do, if you want to do the same thing, you could do apply to master. That way it'll be the same throughout your whole slide. Don't worry about the auto advance because we're going to do our narration on that. If you want to add a background image, you could choose it from your library, and you can make that your new background image, and make sure you select the button as add image as background, which will change whatever I have on there. You can also you can remove all the color. Let's see if I can go on my next slide down here. Now we can do it. So now I have my master image, so it's been changed on all of them. You can just go right back there and you can change that if you like. If I don't want something as my background image on all these slides, I can go top to master properties and hit remove image. And that'll take them out from all of them. You can also play around with the background color on here, so you can change your wheel. I already had one of my students figure this out for me. You can pick your color on here and just hit OK, and you'll do that. You can do it with each one as well and change your color up if you would like. So you can see here I can go to each one of my slides now. I click on the gear underneath, and it needs to have autoplay, auto advance because I've already added the narration in each one of these. You need to just double check that you got autoplay, auto advance in each one. That way when you start to preview your slideshow, it's automatically going to transition over for you. If I'm ready to see what I got, let's go to preview. And you could tell it to start the presentation once it gets done loading.
Check out my mass project. When you're all done with your presentation, hit save and share. Your next step is to add text boxes to go with your pictures.
Alright, last step. I'm happy with my presentation, so I'm going to start to share it. If you haven't done so already, make sure you go to File, Save As. To save it, you have to save it first. And then I'm going to copy this embed code just by clicking copy. And then I'm going to go to my Edmodo account. I'm now logged into my Edmodo account. You have to type something up top. You're then going to click on the link, and I'm just going to paste what I just copied, and make sure you give it a title. Hit attach, and make sure you know what class you're going to send it to, and then hit send. You should then find a link, something like this, on the Edmodo wall which you can click on, and it should automatically load, which will automatically go through the whole steps of what you've done. If you have any more questions, feel free to check out the link that I posted.